What's going on, guys? I'm SimpleSimon. I'm your comic book noob. Welcome to the Noob Rebirth. I'm here, as always, at Big City Comics with my boy Mark. What's going on, Mark?
Oh, I'm not talking to you. You told me off.
Sorry.
Made me angry.
Say hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Today we're going to be talking about... What are we talking about, Mark?
Noob Rage!
Just a quick shout out to my subminions. Channel membership is now available. To find out more, hit the join button to find out about perks, exclusive content, including extended versions of the Noob Rebirth. But always remember, your membership is not required. The best way to support the channel is by liking the videos and leaving a comment. Let's do this. This is the first episode we filmed since the work episode.
Oh, okay. Yes, it is.
And after I dropped that video, guess how many subs I lost?
How many?
6.
Oh, you lost 6.
I don't know. If you actually click on the video, it actually tells you if you lose subscribers. It says I only lost 1, but I don't believe
It's okay. Like everyone's got a
Exactly, and it's fine.
different opinion.
I just thought to mention because I thought it was kind of interesting.
You'd rather them drop than then sit on your channel and send abuse and stuff like that. So
look,
I find that as a respectful.
It's on them, mate.
Yeah, not only that, like that's and you know what? Everyone's got to remember that's their right. If you don't like the content, switch off.
Absolutely. And you know what that is? That is nerd rage.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. It works both ways, mate. Everyone has a choice. It's either ignore the subject material and not get into the discussion, or join in. Because everyone has a right to a different opinion.
We had a lot of discussion on that episode.
Absolutely.
It was great. And that's what I really wanted. I don't know if you read it, but
I did read
I should have taken note, but there were some people that left some really, really lengthy ones, and that's what I want the comment sections to always be like.
Absolutely.
People left really lengthy opinions and stuff, and I thought it was great. But anyway.
Because it's a very strong subject.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so firstly, what is nerd rage, Mark?
So we're leading into nerd rage.
Yeah.
I define nerd rage as when a fan is unhappy with what is happening with their character across all media. So, for an example, if you're a fan of, say, for example, a character like Batman, we'll go for a normal character like Batman, and a writer comes along and changes the character completely. For instance, recently Batman or Bruce Wayne, they definitely deconstructed that character. He's lost all his money. Alfred, he lost his family. So a lot of people say that they've completely destroyed that character.
Well,
but that's one opinion. I'm just saying that's one opinion.
Okay.
And people nerd rage about that stuff. So that's what I mean. Like, it's being unhappy about your character being changed in a way that you do not agree with. And everyone has that choice. Yeah. So that's what nerd rage is.
So for me, like for example, the Bruce Wayne thing, I think him losing his fortune and stuff, that is a good story. And the thing that I like about it so far, I mean, I haven't read Batman for a while, I'm well behind. But the fact that they've stuck to it, the fact that Alfred's still dead, the fact that Bruce Wayne's still not a billionaire anymore, I think that's like a permanent change. It's more like, I think comic book fans get really angry when when a writer does something to a character which is very uncharacteristic, I guess.
Well, you know, we're going to get into that.
I guess because I'm a noob to nerdism, I always like to refer, I'm not a nerd, I'm a wannabe nerd, right? You got the nerds are the cool ones, right? I'm just wannabe. But I don't really get angry about much of this stuff because I'm kind of new to it. I mean, there's definitely things that I'll read sometimes, I'm like, well, that's kind of stupid. But I mean, what are the things that, you know, get your blood boiling?
Well, everyone who knows me has seen me nerd rage, and I have this little vein here that pops up when I'm really passionate.
One of my favourite moments is in the Man of Steel movie when
you don't
Clark Kent's dad dies.
He's pushing my buttons now. He's pushing my button. So what was the question?
What are some of the things that
I've got top 3. We're going to do a top 3.
Okay.
No in particular order. You know, there's no worse or best. But, you know, it's a generalisation, you know. Like the number one thing that I find is these days, you know, having a comic book store, and you hear a lot, is the retcon of the sexuality of a character. That's what probably one of the biggest things that I find that annoys people.
I'm gonna lose another 6 subs.
You know, that's one thing. I'm just saying, general. That's what I hear. And also the other one would be the deconstruction or the destruction of a character.
So you're saying like the Batman thing before was a deconstruction?
Yeah, the destruction of a character. You know, and what they did to the Punisher as well, Frank Castle.
Well, actually, you know what? That's a good one to get into because the Punisher. There was a big deal with them changing the logo because I think there was a shooting in America, I think, and the guy was wearing a Punisher t-shirt.
Yeah, it was that January 6th when they stormed the Capitol.
Oh, okay.
Some of them were wearing like a Punisher t-shirt, the Punisher skull t-shirt, and that's another one that you know people. Yeah, another thing that they nerd rage about is that they use politics into comic books, and you know, so you know it's. Like I said, everyone's different. Everyone reads different.
Because the thing with that's so dumb. Because I mean, what happens if someone at that, what was it, the shooting thing?
The January 6th, storming the capital of
I mean, what happens if someone there was wearing a Taylor Swift t-shirt?
I know.
You're gonna go cancel Taylor Swift?
Yeah, correct. And then the other one would be like not using the source material when they media cross from comic books.
Oh yeah.
You know, to movies.
The worst was like the 90s were really bad for that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I get like comic book adaptations, video game adaptations. The 90s was just a pile of junk.
Yeah, and they do that for a reason. They do that for a couple of reasons. I reckon it's more for rights. You know, like they don't have to pay royalties as much. But you know, there's a number of reasons why they go away from the source material. And it doesn't only happen in comics. I mean, it happened in movies. I mean, a big example would be Aliens, right? You write Alien, and then you have Aliens, which was a kick-ass movie. James Cameron creates these characters that everyone falls in love with. You know, Ripley, Hicks, and Newt. And then the first thing they do in the third film is, you know, they kill Hicks and Newt. Right? So, like, why would you do that?
But wasn't it like the original script or something had them? Because I know there's stories, alien stories,
correct,
where those characters
correct.
live.
The original script, that's correct. Yeah, people get angry about that. You know, another example was Man of Steel. Like, and you know, I can give you many you know, and my vein in the front of my head will pop out. But it's not about the character. It comes to a point where it's good storytelling in that movie because you know they cast it really well. Just that the writers didn't know who the character was.
The Man of Steel was one of the first movies I watched when I started getting into all this. I enjoyed it.
But now you know different.
Well, no, like, so here's the thing, right? Because I'm kind of new to this, I mean, I'm 5 years deep, but like, I didn't know a lot of the character traits. Like, even for something, for example, it was just stuff that I didn't think of. As an example, I didn't know Batman's whole thing was that he didn't kill. Like, you know, I guess I never saw Batman kill anyone, but it wasn't something, I didn't read enough comic books to realize, oh, that is his thing.
No guns.
Exactly, right? So I didn't know that. I don't look as deep into these things because I guess I'm still fairly new. Yeah. So now that I've been into it for 5 years, I understand a lot of it because people have told me.
I get the vein, not because, you know, the characters, more the storytelling. A good example is the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Movie, right? There was nothing source material about it, but it was a great written movie. It had lovable characters that we all got attached to, you know, so that's a good example of going away from the source material and writing a good story, you know, and then you had the second one, right, which went far beyond the source material and it was not as good. To me, it's all going to do with the writing.
I just thought of a nerd rage thing that didn't upset me. I remember people in the community nerd raging about something. What was that awesome Tom King story that everyone loved? Heroes in Crisis.
Oh.
When Harlequin outsmarted the Trinity. Oh. And back then, again, I was very new back then, and people were just like, oh, that would never happen, that's so stupid, da 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 da. And I was reading that stuff, and I was like, it's comic books, like, what? Like, I was very confused that people were so upset about something. Yeah,
we got to understand too, like,
because if you're upset about that, then why are you upset? Why aren't you upset that people think that Batman can beat Superman? I just don't.
It's
nerd rage.
The thing is, I don't see it in a different angle. Like, yeah, maybe Harley Quinn. It is possible to do that because maybe they're so arrogant and they're so blindsided that she came in from the back door,
She
sort of
outsmarted
thing, you know? Yeah, she outsmarted them.
Little things like that, I guess, especially back then, I was like, why are people getting so mad about this? Because when you bring up the whole Superman versus Batman thing, people who are on the Batman side are like, it's been written, it's happened. And I'm like, yeah, but in reality, idiot, let's be real. Superman would fucking wipe the floor with Batman.
Look, it's us here in Australia,
Australia. It's been a while.
Been a while. We might not take these characters as seriously, not as much as, say, America.
You guys take this seriously.
Yeah, we do, but not probably as much as what they do. Yeah, I'm talking about comic book wise, right? And when it's crossing over into the comic books to movies and so on. And the reason why they take it probably to that extra level is because it is part of their culture. Comic books are an American culture, right? They are as American culture as McDonald's, as Coca-Cola. Right? It is part of their culture. So they take it very seriously. Very, very seriously. I sort of get that side of it, you know? And you know, some people take it to the extreme, but some people just, you know, want to express their opinion, but they do it in a rage kind of way.
But do you think writing is one of the bigger things? For example, I enjoyed the Ahsoka series, and if you go back and watch that video, Mark hated everything about it, and a lot of his points were valid. But a lot of those, I guess, we see it from two different sides.
Absolutely.
Because for me, being a noob, I kind of just take things for what they are, while this guy being a veteran in the world of nerdism. Star Wars. You know, he's very, like, to people like you, you're just the original trilogy and everything should be based around that, right?
Yeah, of course.
But the Star Wars universe has come a long way since then.
Yeah, but you can't destroy what came before to make way for what new. You gotta respect what came before, because that's what started it.
But the things that you nerd raged about in the Ahsoka series was very much based on the writing.
Absolutely, the writing was bad. It didn't make sense. A lot of the scenes didn't make sense. And I understand that Filoni, he probably writes. He writes for the bigger story, for the bigger picture, you know. But you know, you still got to write for that season, not for 5 seasons.
He wrote Mando, yeah.
I think he wrote Mando the first season, yeah, which was good, great. Absolutely.
It's hard to just constantly keep coming up with gold, though.
It's not. Well, you can't. Yeah, lightning in a bottle. Well, season 3 said. You look at season 3 of Mando, lightning in a bottle.
Even I struggled to say I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it.
But Ahsoka is not that hard. She's a really established character, and it's just it's not about lightning in a bottle. It's not good storytelling. You know, like anyway, that's another episode we can talk about that. Where Star Wars went wrong. And that's what people nerd rage about, the IP, when an IP is being used in ways that they don't like. You know, I mean, massive nerd rage about what they did to Luke Skywalker in Last Jedi. You know?
Oh, yeah.
You know, massive nerd rage about that.
Because you know what? I was excited that Luke Skywalker was going to be in the new trilogy, I guess they call it, yeah?
Disney Star Wars.
And then they turned him into an asshole. I was like, he's my childhood hero. He would never do the things that you're saying,
no,
right?
He would never abandon his family. But he left his training to go help his friends in Bespin. So, you know, I mean, why would he abandon his family just because his nephew had a bad dream? I mean, like, geez, that's why you're a mentor, to work through these. Anyway, forget it.
What are some of the things in comic books that have made you just go, I've had enough?
Oh, Punisher. What they did to the Punisher recently.
What they do to him? Oh, didn't they change him? Isn't Punisher not Frank Castle anymore?
No. So, but what? Look, to be honest, I don't blame Jason Aaron. I think all the hate he got for that, for what he did to Frank Castle, I don't think it was his fault, because that's not really his MO. He doesn't really do that to characters. That's what I believe anyway. It's not really his MO. I think he got told what to do, and they told him to write it, and they wanted to put a name on that title, a named writer on that title, so people would buy it, instead of putting an unknown writer on it. Because of what they did to Frank Castle, I just don't agree with it. I dropped the new Punisher. I refuse to. They're pushing that down our throats. And it came out straight away too. They didn't wait. They just said, let's quickly forget about Frank Castle and go with this new guy. So I'm not gonna do that. Batman I dropped because I'm just not interested in the Joker. Year one of the Joker, I mean, we don't really need it. I've got the start of Chip Zdarsky's run, so I'm going to start that hopefully soon. What was it called?
Failsafe.
Failsafe arc, so I want to read that.
Comic guy. Let's finish with this.
Alright.
Many things have made you nerd rage
Absolutely.
over the 500 years you've been on Earth. If you could change one, so what is the one that made you nerd rage the most? That vein almost burst. If you could change that one thing.
I can't do one thing. If I can go back in time and stop George Lucas from selling Star Wars to Disney, I would do that. Absolutely. And probably same with Marvel.
And that is all we have for you today. Let us know in the comments, what are some of the things that make you nerd rage? Let us know the one thing that made you nerd rage the absolute most. What made your vein pop out? But that's it for this one. Make sure you guys give this video a like, leave a comment, and say bye Mark's vein.
Bye, Mark.
And keep it simple.